Hello once again, my friends on YouTube. This is the second video today, July 4th. It's still July 4th in the United States, the Independence Day in America. I'm making this video because something happened in Iran, and I'm going to call this video "What Goes Around Comes Around." Muhammad, when he established the religion of Islam, or so-called religion, the ideology of Islam, he commanded the Jews and the Christians. Well, the non-believers had two options. Non-believers, that means if you are Hindus, if you are Buddhist, if you are other than the Jews or the Christian, had only two options: either convert to Islam or death. The Jews and the Christian, he was so graceful with them. He gave them a third option: convert, pay jizyah, which is very high taxes, almost half of your earning, to the Islamic Authority, or be killed. Three options. I read today that Iran is saying Britain confiscated a ship, an oil tanker, Iranian oil tanker. The British Navy just stopped it and took control. So Iran is saying this is robbery, this is stealing, this is wrong, this is no good. Really? What did Muhammad do with the merchants who were traveling from one place to another, doing business, minding their own business, moving from one place to another to sell their goods? Okay? What was he doing with them? Because they didn't believe in him. He killed the merchant, looted the money, and took the goods. Okay? And for the countries that did not want to convert to Islam, like for example Egypt and North Africa, those who were Christian or Jews were given the option to pay jizyah or be killed. So those who couldn't pay the jizyah converted. Those who could afford it, they paid it, but with a high price also. It was not just like some people now say, oh, this is taxes. No, it's not taxes. Okay? For example, I pay my taxes in America here. I send a check. Okay? If I'm atheist, Muslim, Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, Hindus, no religion at all, everybody knows how much taxes he owes, and we send checks. Nobody has to belittle us regardless of our faith or belief. However, in Islam, the Muslim pays taxes. The Christian and the Jews, they pay jizyah, different, which is almost half of their earning. And there is a ceremony to be paid. To give this jizyah, it has to be done like ceremonial thing, which the Christian person or the Jewish person will go and stand in line until afternoon. in the hot sun in Egypt. Or if it is a cold country, stay in the cold or in the rain, alright, until they open, and the person who represents the caliphate, okay, will be sitting on his chair, and the Jew or the Christian person will enter bending his head down, bowing, almost bowing his head down, not looking up, and moving towards the Khalifa or his representative with the money in his hand, opened up like this with the money on the hand. And as he reaches the Khalifa, the hand of the Khalifa will be down, and he will take the money, and then he will slap the guy on his neck, and then spit in his mouth. Once this ceremony is done, he paid his jizyah, and he been humiliated. He goes back home until the next time to pay his jizyah. So it was not actually just the money, it was the humiliation day in and day out to pay this money. The Muslim did not have to go through such ceremony. He just paid his taxes, and that's it. That's it. There was no ceremony, and he didn't have to wait in line. Okay? So, now, what Muhammad established in the beginning, what goes around, what comes around goes around. He excuse me, he established that kind of tradition. He put it in the Quran. This has to be taken off. Okay? I don't care if it's possible or not. This has to be taken off, this nonsense. Okay? If it's not, then now Britain, with mighty force, is standing up and taking this tanker. And this actually, about a week ago, I was reading on BBC Arabic that Britain was exhibiting the F-35 airplane, which it cost more than $100 million each, in the sky. And I thought, well, interesting. But before that also, Britain was suggesting that they can help the American in case America wants to bomb Iran. But I think there must be some intelligence that it's not worth even America moving. The British Air Force can destroy Iran within very short time. And Iran, after opening, showing that on July 7th they were saying they are going to re-energize their nuclear facility once again, it looks like they cannot do much. And now Britain was offering help, and then they are exhibiting the force of the F-35, and it's a stealth airplane, and it is a very powerful piece of equipment. And the third step they did, they took an Iranian tanker, and they are saying what that indicates is, okay, what are you going to do, Mr. Mullah, or whatever it is in Iran? What are you going to do? You want this tanker to pass? Pay us jizyah. Call it stealing, call it theft, call it jizyah, call it whatever you want to call it. you are in trouble. You started this nonsense. You started this believing in that fantasy Muhammad left for you. What goes around, what comes around goes around, whatever the saying, what comes around, what goes around comes around. I think so. So you started this, it's turning now on you. Paying jizyah, huh? With humiliation. You will be humiliated. You will be humiliated as Saddam Hussein was. Okay? Thank you very much. You better come out of this nonsense.